Hello, everybody, and good evening. Welcome to the GGR Indycar series presented by Oregon Diecast. We are here at Spa-Francorchamps for the JP Designs 100 live on Work TV. I'm Tyson Gifford alongside my good friend Jay Mulder. We'll be taking you through today's race. Jay, how are you doing today?
We're doing great. I think we're really in for a show tonight. We got great racetrack, great cars, and I think we're in for a show.
Well, it is certainly going to be a great race. We've got qualifying going on right now. Here is Quentin Haley in the number 13 Dark Horse Racing car, and he has disappeared off the track. But that is a wonderful livery right there. There he is going up through the first little sector of corners. The wonderful up the hill portion. He's going to drive along by. We're going to follow him on his flying lap. 18 laps is today's event around the wonderful course in Belgium. And Jay, you're in the points lead, but with Brayson Collins crashing at the apartment of Quentin Haley for the week, we've got a little swap going on. Quentin is driving and you are in the booth. How is that feeling for you?
Yeah, It's not something I'm necessarily used to, but we're gonna do our best, put on a show, and hopefully these guys put on a show as well. Brayson, left us behind. He always does a good job, and tough shoes to fill. We'll do our best to fill them, though.
All right, the 4.352 mile circuit, 20 turns around this track. The race lap record, Valtteri Bottas in 2018, a 146.2. I don't think we'll be seeing those speeds around this course, but these guys are certainly going to be pulling quite a hefty lap time. As here's Josh Patterson, the number 02. He's been the guy to beat. During practice, we were watching him. He was setting consistently the fastest lap times. I would say, wasn't it about a 4/10 of a second quicker than the second and third place competitors? Wasn't that right, Jay?
Yeah, this is got to be one of his best tracks, if not the best track for him. He's won the 24 Hours of Spa here a couple times, actually, and, this is a track he knows really well, and I think he's the man to beat tonight, to be completely honest with you. He won last week at Chicagoland, and he's looking to go back-to-back tonight.
So the official point standings, Jay, you're in the points lead with 211, but Josh is sitting right there with 210 points, sitting in second place. Both of you have 2 wins on the year, and then Ethan Workman is sitting in third place, 177 points back. So Josh has the opportunity to extend his points lead, or to get the points lead, I would say, any sort of position for Josh Patterson will give him the points lead. And Ethan Workman also has maybe the opportunity to try and gain it, as we are watching his first flying laps thus far. Blake Kennedy is fourth in points, 175 points to his name, so he could try to catch up on Workman. Ethan Harrison also has 173. So pretty close points battle between third, fourth, and fifth. And then quite a ways back to sixth place, Anthony Sharps with 136 points. Paul Granada, 128 points. He is not racing tonight. Ryan Martin has 123. Aiden Oxidine has 121, so he could try to get some points on Ryan Martin. And then Dimitri Mundros has 115. Mason Suit with 98. And then Nick Pena with 96. Now, Mason Suit, Paul Granada, they've got a little bit of a battle going on, don't they, Jay?
Yeah, this series has been really close all season long. I've been lucky enough to make it to the end of a lot of these races and store a couple wins, and that's given me the points lead. But, we've had a lot of tight battles, and, I don't think a single race other than Homestead has been won by more than, couple tenths of a second. They're all really close races, and we're right on top of each other all race long. As we see Josh coming through here, he's going to come through the final chicane, finishing off his first flying lap here.
So I would say whatever time Josh sets here is going to be the benchmark. It looks like he's going to have, I would say that's a 2 minute, right at under 2 minutes, 159.1 for Josh Patterson, and he goes to the top of the board in first with, man, that was a pretty good run there. Justin Haley in second, 1.2 seconds back, and then White third with 1.6, Swearigan fourth, Workman fifth, as we have 5 minutes remaining in the qualifying session. I would say that's enough time for these guys to maybe pull through, get one more qualifying lap in, because it is quite a long way around this track.
Yeah, we're going to get another look at Quentin Haley here, who's right now bottom of the guys who've qualified. He may have just taken that first lap to warm his stuff up and get going, but he's cooking it now. He's head around this off-camber turn. That's got to be one of the toughest corners on this track. And right around no-name corner here. Real high-speed section. This part is very tough to nail in any car. It'll be exciting to see how these guys fly through here.
That is for sure. We saw here earlier, right at this little sector, we're going to see him go through, doing a right, a left, and then he's going to go down a little straight and then take another right-hander. Right here is where we saw, I'd say, Josh Patterson the most. He was the one that was really getting it and getting loose, turning the car, and just plowing it into the barrier. These cars, we were seeing, if you're getting in the grass, you're going around. You are turning yourself and you are wrecking that race car. So it's going to be very interesting seeing how these guys are able to handle it, especially with not many experienced road racers in this series.
Quentin Haley going to come back, drop that time on the board. We'll see where that puts him. And it moves him up to 6th place here. See if anyone else.
Who's with the 6? So that was a 2-second improvement on his last lap time. So I'd say that's a 2:02.3 for Quentin Haley, if my math is correct.
And we're now going to focus on the 4 of Aiden Oxine. He's going out, I believe this is his second lap, yeah.
Aiden Oxidine, as we mentioned earlier, 9th in points. Now, the top 10 is the cutoff for the postseason in GGR. So Aiden Oxidine looking for a good points result, especially with quite a few contenders that are not in today's race. So his average start is 11th, his average finish is 12th, and 121 points to his name. Could be asleep with a smaller field. Hopefully he's able to find some speed here, though. It looks like he's going to be way off the pace of what Josh Patterson has been running. Yeah, way off pace. It looks like he's about 3 seconds off of the current pole lap.
Though, to be completely honest, I mean, I wouldn't beat yourself up. Josh is absolutely unbeatable around this racetrack. I mean, it's going to take something catastrophic to hurt his chances of winning tonight, as Aiden Oxine will go 11th with that lap.
So sticking in 11th on the board, and there's going to be some people that aren't, I would say they aren't even going to attempt qualifying laps, because why bother? Looks like Austin Duran, Calcioca, Mundros, Schumacher, and Leslie, they all have not attempted laps, and I don't think they're on track at the moment. As it stands, with 1:30 left in qualifying, Josh Patterson has the pole, Ethan Harrison second, Blake Kennedy third, and I'd say those three are going to stick with it. Nobody taking a flying warm-up lap, and it takes quite a while to get around this track, so unless something drastic happens, Josh Patterson is your current pole sitter, unless you've got a rocket ship going around 300 miles around this track.
Yeah, for sure. Nobody left on track here as we take a look at some scenic shots of this beautiful racing facility. I mean, look at all these trees under a blanket out here. It's just a beautiful place here in Belgium.
And to the viewers watching, we've got quite a few people watching today's stream. Drop where you're watching in the comments. Maybe we have some people watching from Kroger, maybe some people from Seattle, some people from Raleigh. You never know. We'd love to know if you got any questions. If you want to hear from any driver, put it in the live chat. I'll be taking a look at it every so often. And hopefully you guys enjoy the show. This wonderful course opened up in 1925. That was his first Grand Prix race. Has held a Grand Prix in every year in F1 since 1985, except for 2003 and 2006. And with qualifying coming to a close, Josh Patterson is your pole sitter for today's race with a 159.6. That's a blazing lap time, especially in the 2009 IndyCars.
And we'll get ready to get things kicked off here. We'll have a look at our starting grid. Of course, like you mentioned, on pole will be Josh Patterson, and Ethan Harrison will start alongside him. Grocery bagger by day and iRacer by night. He's one of the best around here. Off to you, Tyson.
Blake Kennedy starting in third, Garrett White starting in fourth. Blake Kennedy, the third and final driver to eclipse the 2-minute mark in the 159 range. Garrett White was a 2-minute .2. Justin Haley starting fifth, hoping to get some good practice for the upcoming race on Saturday, even though this is much different than Martinsville. Anthony Sharps in sixth place. Swearigan and Quentin Haley starting along row 4 in 7th and 8th. Pretty similar times between Sharps and Swearigan, and then Quentin Haley with a 2-minute 01. Brady Cox, Ethan Workman starting 9th and 10th there in row number 5. They both had a pretty similar lap time, 2:02.5 for Cox, 2:02.8 for Workman. Aiden Oxidine was half of a second off of Workman, sitting in 11th, and he was the last driver to post a time, sitting in 11th. Austin Duran starts 12th. Casiola and Mundros start 13th and 14th. Leslie and Schumacher start 15th and 16th. There in row 8, and that rounds out the field. So we've got a rolling start for today's race, and it's sure to be a fun one, man. I mean, this is going to be quite the exciting race here around Spa. These guys, hopefully we keep it clean through the first few corners, through the first few laps, I would say. I mean, this turn 1 is going to be especially treacherous.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Josh Patterson, we keep talking about him. I think the key to tonight's race is beating that 02 car. I mean, the Nova cars have been fast all season. I've been lucky enough to be driving one and drove it to 2 wins. Josh got a win last week at Chicagoland. He's looking to go back-to-back, coming off that momentum as we head through the chicane here and get ready to go green flag racing. Off to you, Tyson.
Alrighty, well, we're going to go green flag racing here in a second. Joshua Patterson, Ethan Harrison leading them down to the line. We already have a car around in the back, and we are green, nearly 2 wide for second place, as Josh Patterson had the advantage as we go through turn number 1. I don't know who that was. It looks like it was Schumacher who spun. We're 3 wide. Oh, we got another spin and a big incident
Duran around.
Yep, Duran was the one who got loose in the middle. He went up to the high side and lost it. And I think we went clean through the upper hill section as we're now on the Kemmel Straight. 2 wide, 3 wide nearly for second. We're 2x2 for the second place position. 3 wide now under the bottom goes the pink car of, I believe that's Justin Haley, as Ethan Harrison.
Oh, we got one around further back. That's Blake Kennedy.
Blake Kennedy also around. And like I mentioned earlier, these cars have a very high tendency of spinning around. If they even get a little bit loose, they're going around. Battle for second place nearly. Justin Haley trying to get up towards that 90 or the 77. We got another car off. A car in the grass. I believe that might be Quentin Haley, if I am not mistaken.
And yeah, it was.
It was Quentin Haley.
Oh, we got an overtake down here. That's the 15 car going to go to the inside of the 92. Big move right there, and a couple tires getting dropped in the grass.
Kicks up a little dust. Yeah, Swearigan kicks up a little bit of dust there as Blake Kennedy has made it. No, that's not Blake Kennedy. That is, yeah, that's Justin Haley there in third place. Our ticker is a little bit off for some reason. Joshua Patterson has a wide gap there on the field. Quentin Haley fighting, looking for a way to get around that 77. He's going to outbrake him going into the final chicane, but Harrison's going to have the top. He had the advantage going into the first one. Haley's going to take the lead, or to take the second place position, as we've got a spinner in the back, as we're side by side for second place going into turn 1.
There's so much action. So much action around this racetrack. So we're going to keep an eye.
Haley loses the position to Haley lost the position there to Ethan Harrison as they go up through Elro and Ralladon. Here comes Garrett White in the number 26 in the Nova Sim Racing car. He's going to try to make it 3 wide down the Kimmel Straight. On board with Justin Haley. As he has the bottom line.
Harrison around. Up and over. Harrison going to back off the track there.
No yellows being thrown thus far, but Garrett.
Around! Now he gets hit again.
Once again being hit was Ethan Harrison. And the driver
heavy damage, heavy damage.
Wow. He is not happy under the hood of that race car, I can imagine. Justin Haley was fighting hard for that position. I mean, that was a great battle they had going on. And then Garrett White just took massive advantage.
And caution will come out here.
Sure you got your release mark correct coming into
so much action around this racetrack, and caution finally coming out here. We had multiple incidents there and lots of spins. They're not trying to throw a caution for every little thing tonight. They're trying to keep the race moving, but yeah, obviously we had enough going on there to bring out the caution. Josh Patterson never lost the lead there. He actually drove off and drove off from the pole and drove away from all the carnage behind him.
I mean, he took full advantage of the drivers that were having the battle there for second place. I mean, it was a great looking battle there between Ethan Harrison, Justin Haley, and the current third place driver of Garrett White. And we're going to see if we can bring in one of these two guys that were involved in the accidents. Josh Patterson currently in the lead. I mean, that was some great racing there for the first few laps. I would say that probably some of the best racing that we've seen for the opening laps on a road course. So many people were spinning. I mean, that's very crazy. One thing I'd like to point out, Swearigan was second in practice. He is currently fourth after starting a little bit down on the field. So that will be interesting to make note.
Yeah, for sure here. A whole lot of drama, no shortage of drama there in the first couple laps. We're going to do a couple pace laps here to get the field re-racked and get everyone organized so we can go back to racing.
All right. We're going to try to bring in Ethan Harrison into the booth. Ethan, this is Tyson up in the Work TV booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah.
Man, that was some fun racing there. 3 wide on the Kimmel Straight heading into the chicanes into Les Combes for second place. That was some awesome racing. And then what just happened there? Did you come down on him or did you just get turned?
I think we just came together, but I feel like he probably should have lifted out of that. But it is what it is. We're just gonna try and get back in this race and not crash again.
That's for sure. You were looking bad fast out there, and hopefully you can make your way through this field. I mean, we had some great racing going on. I don't know if you were able to catch a glance of it in your rearview mirror, but that battle with you, Justin Haley, and Garrett White was something special to watch on those first few laps.
Yeah, I hope we can get some more green flag racing. I don't want the whole race to be like this, but it should be good now that everyone hopefully has a feel for it. Let's try not to pile them up some more. That's my main goal.
and so we were hearing that the car, once you touch the grass, it gets very loosey-goosey and it just turns around. Has that been the case thus far in today's race?
Well, I mean, yeah, it'll happen in most stuff, but especially in these cars, because the way they're built, they have so much power that if you and like you're on the throttle all the way when you're on the throttle, so if you touch the grass, you're going around.
Alrighty. Thanks for that insight, man. We'll be definitely making note of it. I guess people are getting a little too antsy and stepping on the gas a bit too hard as they're going through the medium speed corners. Enjoy the rest of the race. Hopefully you keep it clean, and love to see you back up front.
Thank you.
Always great hearing from Ethan. I mean, he is definitely one of the better personalities on the track. As Josh Patterson has an issue, I don't know what's up with him. Justin Haley has obtained the lead with Josh Patterson having an issue.
And looks like he's stalled out here trying to shut off and save fuel here. He's trying to get pushed from Ethan, who he just talked to, and get that thing fired back up here. Gonna do a little rear wing damage, though. Gotta be careful about that.
So, yeah, a little bit of weird rear wing damage there for sure.
There he goes.
Off he goes.
Just needed that little push, and he's good, but of course, a little bit of rear wing damage. Can't overlook that, especially at this track. A lot of high-speed corners that can lose rear grip and spin you around, as we see Justin Haley on pit road here.
Justin Haley on pit road. Looks like he got a little bit of fuel and maybe some damage repair off, and away he goes. So this gives the lead to Garrett White, who stayed out. So we have 4 drivers who stayed out. Looks like everybody else coming back in. And I'll give Garrett White the lead. Brady Cox in second. So this is going to be very interesting. I don't know what Brady Cox is doing, because we are doing single file restarts. But Brady Cox is under the impression that we are doing double file. Target liveries there sitting in 3rd place, and a white livery sitting in 4th. Drivers zooming ahead. Looks like they're doing that to get ahead and save some gas. Joshua Patterson as well, so I think
He might have got his position back right there. That looks like what might happen.
And I'm honestly not opposed to that. It's not exactly a bad thing having Josh Patterson there, but it would have been awesome to see him do a little Lewis Hamilton and try to carve through the field. That could have been very dangerous.
The pace lights, or the caution lights on the pace car here, are turned off, and we look like we'll be going back to green once we get back around the front stretch. We're about halfway through the track here, so we'll keep pacing around and we'll get back to going green here shortly.
So, Jay, what's one thing to look out for on this restart? So we'll have a single file restart. These guys, we've already seen them. I mean, a little too much pressure on the gas, as Ethan said, that definitely turns you around. What's the key if you are Brady Cox, Garrett White, Justin Haley? If you're those guys, what are you looking for?
I think really, truly, you're just being patient, waiting for the opportunity to come to you, and letting the car come to you, the opportunities and everything. Just take your time here. Lots of time left in this race, and no reason to get antsy and, tear your car up while you're running up front. I mean, you're in the top 3 right now, top 5, and no reason to wreck your car or lose your spot, spaying yourself out or something like that, making a mistake that just doesn't have to be made at this point. Just take what the car gives you, take what your competitors give you, and stick around, be there for that final lap.
And I would say, honestly, especially if now Josh does have a tiny bit of rear wing damage that could affect him, but I believe he is bad fast, so it's entirely possible that Patterson, he's gonna be looking to gap the field once once again, especially with Garrett White showing some speed. I'm not sure how accurate this ticker is. I know obviously it will refresh here momentarily as we go through the line. But Josh Patterson, Garrett White, Brady Cox are going to be your top 3 heading back to the green flag on lap 5 of 18 in the JP Designs 100 at Spa-Francorchamps.
Josh blinking out right there, actually. Having some connection issues. Not the time to be having this.
Field stacks up. Josh is going to step on the gas. Off and away they go. Green flag is back out on lap 5 of 18. We're back underway here at Spa as the 4-car breakaway here for the top. Justin Haley is the 4th car in line as Cassiola is in 5th. Desperate, dangerously holding up the field as it looks like Swearigan is going to get around. Yep, Swearigan is going to be on the outside of Cassiola as they go through the uphill section. That was almost dangerous. Cassiola smartly backing out as we're going to go 3 wide. Right behind them, 3 wide as they go down the Kimmel Straight.
We're swerving back and forth back here. That's Quentin Haley.
Quentin Haley trying to make a move as they're going down the straightaway, trying to break the draft. The 27 Cassiola trying to...
Oh, and we got 1 around. 2 around. Several.
They all go
Oh, they keep piling in. It's a big crash, and we got 1 flipping down the hill. Who is that?
That's Swearigan by the looks of it.
My goodness.
We have big time troubles going through Lacecombs and Bruxelles. Here's another look at it. Oh, he just loses control, and then I believe the guy behind Blake Kennedy overcorrected and just turned him over.
The race staying green, surprisingly. We saw multiple cars get up in the air and flipped over even. Josh Patterson hasn't lifted off the gas once, so he's keeping it moving. Garrett's following him, and they're pulling away from the field right now, but a huge crash right there.
Big crash. Shocked there hasn't been a caution yet. We stayed green for now, but that took out Swearigan, who was shaping up to be a big contender. And I was gonna say, if he wasn't able to work his way through the field, it would have had to been something bad that would have happened to him. That's something bad. Brady Cox turns it around. There's a full 360 there right in front of Justin Haley, and that gives Haley the spot going into turn 1.
We'll ride on board with Haley up this Eau Rouge section here. And that's Josh Patterson, actually.
Looks like camera director had he had a different idea of who we'd be going on board with, but look at that front wing damage on Garrett White. He's still able to keep pace with Josh Patterson. So this is very interesting to make a note of. That's a very big dent. Oh, yeah, that's a pretty big dent on the 26 there, on his front wing. I wonder if we can get a better look at it on right here.
Oh yeah, bent down on the right side quite a bit. That, there is a chance that could be helping him. I mean, maybe having less drag down that straightaway, if maybe it's tilted forward or something like that, might help him down the straights, or it might be tilted in a weird way that will help him aerodynamically through these corners. You never really know never know how damage will affect you, of course.
As it's a top 3 breakaway, but even then, it is quite a few people that are in this top 3. Josh Patterson, Garrett White, Justin Haley.
Oh, Josh has wrecked it.
Patterson goes around in the part of the course that we said would be a problem. One that we said he had been going around in during practice.
We're going to pull up a replay here. Pull up a replay and have another look at that. That's a spot we saw him struggle with throughout practice. Let's have a look at this.
We saw him bin it multiple times in that area right here. Through the S's. And gasses it too much. Look, barely taps that outside wall, so I think he's fine.
Yeah, he should be fine to continue here.
So this changes a lot.
He's still going. He didn't pit for damages there.
as we've got our in-car reporter, Quentin Haley, in the booth. Quentin, do you have a copy?
Hello, Tyson.
Well, looks like you have given up the broadcasting for this week, taking it to the course. How's it been out there so far? I mean, it's been pretty hectic from what we've seen.
It has been a knockout, drag-out of a fist fight between the no talent and the talent.
I mean, that's for sure. I mean, Josh Patterson, I don't know if you were able to see it. He was leading the race, and he just turned it around in the S's in turns 13 and 14 through campus and turned it around. So now he's sitting in third. So we have Garrett White and Justin Haley 1-2 thus far. So that's been what we've been focusing on. But I think you've been having quite the battle back there as well.
Yeah, I was having a great little battle with who was it? Ethan Workman. He checked up a little bit more than I was expecting, and I took a little spin, trying not to hit him, but that's okay. Just heavy, hard racing between Ethan Workman and myself, but had to hang it up. Got some other stuff to worry about right now, so calling my race done for the night.
Alrighty. Well, glad to hear you were having fun out there. Hopefully.
Oh, fun is a word. I'm not sure it's my word.
It was an experience. I would say that.
Yeah, it's definitely given me a different perspective when I come back into the broadcasting booth now, knowing that what I was seeing from the booth is accurate. So I think it'll just, if anything, it'll make me a better broadcaster upon my return.
Well, that's what we love to hear, isn't that right? I mean, we've got all the love.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have that in big-time sim racing,
Well, and we know Quentin Haley, you're a guy who loves his pomp and pageantry, a lot of excitement on the racetrack, some fireworks on and off.
Yeah, there's no pomp and pageantry to Spa tonight. This was an absolute disaster, and I pray for the soul of anybody that was involved in this.
Well,
thank you, and have a good night.
I'd say that sums it up. Have a good one, Quentin.
As we see Justin Haley working his way around some lap traffic here, closing in on the halfway point, and he's looking to run down Garrett White, who's out front right now. Let's ride on board with Justin Haley here, using the coveted Henry cam through this high-speed section. Justin Haley is a big fan of Henry, and Henry is proud to put the Henry cam on board as we go through this high-speed section of Pouhon here.
And Justin, it's about a 2.3, 2.4 gap. Now it's down to 2.7 right now as they go through turns 13 and 14. Certainly working his way through. I'd say he's just trying to keep a clean race, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think if he keeps his car on the track, he might be able to reel in Garrett just by keeping a clean car and getting there. Garrett could make a mistake. It's not an easy track. It's no simple task to get around here in one piece, of course. If it was, I
think we had a little bit of a kick up. Oh, Justin nearly turns it there. So I just saw Garrett White go into the dirt. Was able to keep it going though. Look at that. Look at that little orange car right there. That's Josh Patterson. He's working his way up through. Trying to reel in Justin Haley in that number 99.
He's going to come through this high-speed section of Eau Rouge and Radillon here. And I believe these guys are just about wide open through here, and they're going nearly 200 miles per hour as they get to the top of that hill. It's got to be crazy stuff behind the wheel of these things.
We
got one flipping back there.
He plowed into the wall. I don't know who that was. I think that might have been I don't think that was Workman. That might have been a lap down car.
It was a lap down car. No easy way to check in on that is these guys come flying through here, and that car appears to have been towed by now, but see if we can figure out who that was. Josh Patterson working his way around these corners. He knows this place real well, and he's reeling in Justin Haley right now.
It was a black car, so it may have been Schumacher or Oxidine. by the looks of it, but we won't know until the official confirmation, of course. But I saw him in the corner. I saw him in the corner of the screen and just plowed into the wall there.
We'll pull up
I can't tell if Justin Haley is losing time or Joshua Patterson is gaining on him. I think both things are happening as Patterson tries to reel in Justin Haley.
We're going to pull up a quick replay here and have another look at who that was further back as, things are slowing down a little bit. Guys are spread out. We'll have another look at that lap car further back. See who that was. And I believe we have found it here.
Oh.
Not a good angle there, unfortunately. Let's see if we can... There we go. And Oxidine, actually, the 4 car.
It was Oxidine. I was thinking it was Oxidine, but that was a hard lick there. It's looking like a Skip Barber car out there after that little incident. My goodness.
Trying to get one last look at this here. Coming up the hill, and he gets off in the grass and just lost control. A very heavy hit right there, and that's high speed section of the racetrack.
That's just a case of overcorrecting right there, I would have to say. I mean, went into the grass and then immediately tried to go back onto the asphalt, and that's just, you don't want to do something. You don't want to do something like that. You want to always keep control of the car. And even when you go in the grass, your instinct is to go back on the asphalt. But your first thing that you should do is to let up, let the car keep going straight, because your momentum, if you're yanking it back onto the asphalt, you're just going to go straight across and go back onto the other side, and that's exactly what happened. And Oxidine clearly hasn't learned that under the helmet of his race car, and hopefully he can take some racing tips from that and learn to slow down when you hit the grass. And I don't know how he got out of the grass there. He clearly overcorrected on something that he did beforehand, and just one incident led to another, and now we're watching the perfect laps of Josh Patterson, who must have had a spin as well somewhere once again, because he's now 29 seconds back of Justin Haley, who has now reeled in Garrett White, who had to avoid a driver going off that might have been the 15 of Swearigan. It was the 15 of Swearigan who went way wide. We're going to go on the Henry Cam once again with Justin Haley going up through the hill section and onto the Kemmel Straight.
So we're going upwards of 210 miles per hour down this long straightaway. And he's got some slipstream off the lap car in front. And some medium speed corners that looks like a chicane that you'd have to slow down a lot for, but they actually carry quite a bit of speed through there, only down to about third gear in most cars.
This is certainly a challenging track, and as Quentin said, it separates, I would say, he said it separated the talent from the not talent. I would say it separated the men from the boys at this sort of track, or at least the ones that can control their car. I mean, Justin Haley, Garrett White, Josh Patterson, the 3 drivers up in front. And it's the top 6 are within 1 minute of each other. The rest of the pack is either a lap down or a minute and a half back. And Blake Kennedy, the last driver, 1 lap down.
We'll have a look here. Ethan Workman and Anthony Sharps are closing in, and Sharps going to look for an overtake on the inside. Not going to get there, but Workman went way deep.
Workman overdrove it and went into the turtles. He actually let up purposely because I think he got a warning for cutting the track. They're going to be side by side going into the corner now. Workman's going to outbrake the 92, and he's going to keep the position there through Bruxelles and into turn... Whoa.
3-way battle here between Moondros No, I'm incorrect. Workman, Sharps, and So they're
That's Sharps and Cassiola there. As Cassiola gets around Sharps, he's now going to work on Workman. Very interesting to say that string of sentences right there, as they're going to get out of the little tight section, and they're going to go through Paul Frere, and Sharps is going to try to work back on Cassiola, who is trying to get draft from Workman. This is going to be a 3-car train heading towards the final chicane, all trying to break the draft of each other, weaving left, weaving right, and they're going to stick it.
And Workman locks it up.
Brakes.
Contact! Up and over! Sharps! Up and over, and he's going to fire it back up and keep on going. Act of a champion right there.
And for something, I thought that was dangerous for Workman. Workman got the best out of that one, as all 3 of them had danger going through there. Let's take a look at this replay. 3x3 thus far.
Fire up the replay here. So we see Workman gets in too deep. He's going to lock it up, and caution will come out here. We'll check in on that just after this. We get that contact there, and up and over goes Sharps, and in C, not happy under the hood of that race car. He fired it back up, and he started chasing after the guy in front of him. I don't think he's too happy under the hood of that race car.
I mean, I wouldn't blame him, because he had it. He had the position, because Cassiola also screwed up, and then he just gets run over by Workman there. So this caution's actually going to bring the field back together. I believe the caution was for the incident that just occurred. So Garrett White in the front just lapped Swearigan, or I believe Swearigan stayed with him. So Garrett White in first, Justin Haley second, Josh Patterson third, Workman fourth, Cassiola fifth, Sharp sixth. This is going to be your top 6 as we are under caution here on lap 13 of 18. This is going to be interesting.
Garrett White picking up the safety car here, going through Eau Rouge.
And this has been some racing going on.
Absolutely.
Why don't we bring in the driver that's in second place, Justin Haley, into the booth? We're going to move him in a second. Hey, Justin, this is Tyson up in the Work TV booth. Do you have a copy?
Oh, I got you.
Oh, this has been some racing so far. I don't want to say fun, but it's definitely been interesting. What's it been like out there? I mean, you had some great battles in the first little stint there for second place, and you've been calmly sitting there for the rest of the race. How's it been out there?
It's good. I'm just trying to work out fuel mileage now. I have absolutely zero racing experience, so I'm not sure how many gallons I need to take, and the guys back home in the engineering department at the war room aren't helping me out too much. So just kind of a man on my own island here, and probably gonna take too much fuel, get trapped there in the back, and probably be in the big one here in a second. But been a great race so far for our Peach Vibe Celsius car.
It certainly has been. That car has been looking beautiful out there in second. Garrett White has not pitted thus far, and it'll be certainly interesting to see what strategy he plays. We're gonna be restarting on lap 15 of 18, so 4 laps to go will be the restart. Do you think we'll be going green all the way, and what's your strategy for it?
I don't know. I mean, the good news is I did pit there earlier, so I'll get a jump on Garrett with taking less fuel. Josh has already pitted, so he'll go and inherit the lead. So I'm not really sure. I think I'm just going to go here with our Dark Horse Racing Chevrolet. I think Quentin Haley, my teammate, he's out of the competition. So just a lonely wolf, like I said, and we'll see if we can wad some stuff up.
Alrighty. Well, best of luck to you, Justin. Hopefully you have a great rest of the race, and we'll be rooting for you.
Oh, thank you.
Always glad to talk with Justin when he hops up into the booth. And, I mean, that Celsius car certainly does look good. And he does bring a good point. It will be interesting to see what fuel strategy people take. Josh has pitted. Garrett has not, by my knowledge. And I think Justin said that he will be coming down. So some strategy afoot here for this late caution.
And you bring up a good point there. We don't know if this will be the last caution of this race. I mean, we could see ourselves going into some green-white checkered territory, and these guys get crazy. Obviously, Garrett White, Justin Haley, and Josh Patterson, the three best guys so far tonight. But things get crazy, and they warm up into turn one. They're going up Eau Rouge and Radion, and we could be looking at Ethan Workman going to the lead, or Sharps, one of those guys. I mean, they've flipped, and they're still in contention tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen quite the few comers and goers within, I would say, outside of the top three, but really the main mainstays have been Justin Haley and Josh Patterson, and Garrett White really inherited the lead because he didn't pit. So Garrett coming down, Joshua Patterson staying out, Haley coming down as well. This will give Patterson the lead. Workman stays out. This will be interesting. So Garrett White, Justin Haley coming down pit road. I wonder what fuel they'll take. I wonder if Justin Haley's going to be able to overtake Garrett on this, because we'll have 9 cars on the lead lap. Would you take tires? Get fresh tires to get advantage on the field, or do you think that would just be no advantage at all?
These cars and these crews, they change these tires so quickly. I mean, I don't see why you'd refuse to take tires here, that extra grip. I mean, unless the tires really mean absolutely nothing, which they gotta mean something. You gotta be taking tires here and giving yourself that extra little bit of grip that you need to push that car just that last inch further.
Alrighty. Well, let's drag our leader in, Joshua Patterson. We're going to move him into the booth here. Let's have a quick word with him, see if we're able to get a little soundbite from him. Hey, Josh, this is Tyson up in the Work TV booth. Do you have a copy?
Hey, man, I got you.
Man, it was fun watching you up front out there, and then you had a little spinalla, but you are sitting there in first once again with that little pit strategy. How's it been out there?
Well, I feel like we've been the fastest car on track tonight. I don't know, obviously some struggles just on my end keeping the car under me. I've spun twice, so I'm not immune to these mistakes, but I think if I'm able to, go the rest of the race mistake free, I should have a good chance to win it. I definitely feel fast, and we've been running the fastest laps of anybody. So yeah, I don't know. It's been really good besides my mistakes. So yeah.
I mean, we definitely heard some adjectives from other drivers. I would say the one that I've been describing it is interesting, is what this race has been. Would you agree to that?
I would agree. I don't know. I feel like it would have been even more interesting if this safety car didn't come out, just because I think both Justin and Garrett had to pit still. So I'm not sure how close they would have been to me. But obviously this caution plays in my favor. And the restart wrecks have definitely been interesting, or at least the start wreck and the restart wreck. Jumped some cars, but since there's no wrecks on the first lap after, a yellow, those didn't get called. So I'd say interesting, hectic. But no, it's been really fun racing with some of these guys up front. I think the top 3, top 5 have been able to, top 3 have been able to keep it really clean, and that's been a lot of fun today. But yeah, I'm just hoping we can keep it clean and come home with the win.
Yeah, the top 3. I mean, with Garrett being up front, you, Justin, and Garrett were having pretty clean laps. You guys were the class of the field, and Garrett and Justin did both have to pit. Garrett never pitted under that first caution, and Justin was a little bit short on fuel. So those guys will have fuel remaining, just giving you that info. We'll have 4 laps to go heading to the green here for what I hope is the final restart. What do you expect on this one?
I expect somebody's going to send it up my inside, either Ethan or Franco, but I'm going to try to get a good restart here, and just clear. I'm going through 1, and I should be able to hold it for the rest of the lap. And as long as I can make that breakaway and not get passed by the end of the Kemmel Straight, I should be good to hold on to it as long as I don't make a mistake.
Alrighty, well, we'll certainly be watching. Josh, thanks for giving us a quick few quotes, and you'll be heading back to the restart shortly. Alrighty, well, there he goes. Great start from Josh Patterson. Oh my goodness, probably the best start he's gotten all week. And Ethan Workman is just left in the dust heading into turn 1.
These boys are getting aggressive further back. We see Justin Haley. He's getting aggressive. He's trying to push that target car, that red target car, and he's going to try and take him 2x2 here.
Pushing the issue up through the hill, and just side by side they go, and Justin Haley wisely sticks it behind, try to get a little draft now down the Kemmel Straight. As goes Justin Haley, Ethan Workman is going to try to work on Josh Patterson there.
He's got a lot of time to work with. Don't get too aggressive here. You know, let the race come to you. Don't push it too hard and make a mistake here. You're in a real good spot.
Cassiola fighting hard with Justin Haley. Haley has gotten around Cassiola, and he is going to be on the hunt of Ethan Workman. I wonder if Haley took tires, because he certainly is looking fast, trying to get through. Because if I'm not mistaken, I would say Workman probably has very worn tires, unless he took tires after his little skirmish. Actually, no, he definitely didn't, because he never went down pit road, as he was the cause of the caution, but he stayed out. That's why he's in second. So I'd say Workman probably has some scuffed tires, whereas Haley most likely took some.
Yeah, and Haley's got to get real aggressive here. This is remind me a lot of a recent Xfinity race that he ran, where he's got that fresh tires. He's chasing after the leader. It's really going to be interesting to see. Will he get it done this time around?
Oh, locking up the brakes goes Ethan Workman, and that's going to allow Justin Haley to get the advantage on him side by side down the front straightaways. Workman blinks. Haley doesn't know what to do. I think he saw the blink and cuts in front of him, wisely blocks him going to the top, blocks Cassiola down to the bottom, and Haley takes second place.
Oh, and around goes Moondros.
That's Moondros. He takes a little spin. We stay green with 3 to go.
We're going to watch Justin Haley using the Henry Cam. He flies down this long straight here, looking out and seeing Josh Patterson. He's side by side. He's got to fend these guys off.
I believe that was Cassiola who got to his left side, and he's able to clear him there. Now take a watch out. Blake Kennedy is sitting in 6th, but that's 6th on track, but he's right behind all of these drivers. 2nd through 6th is all under a blanket here. 5 drivers there.
Yeah, we got 5 drivers left in a blanket here with 3 laps to go. And who wants it right now? You see that orange car off in the distance. Who wants to go run down and take this victory?
I mean, Josh Patterson is just... he's just putting in laps. He needs to be smooth, calm, and consistent out front to honestly keep this win together. Justin Haley sitting in 2nd, not really making up that much time, but Cassiola is not making it easy for Justin Haley to keep that 2nd place. Now they give a little bit of a gap as they go down the straightaway in Blanchimont heading towards the chicane.
One, you really got... Oh, Justin with connection issue there. But, you know, this is going to get exciting here before we're all done. I don't think we're done with the drama here. Is Justin, he's going to have what appears to be 2 more laps, or maybe 3 more laps to go run down. No, 2 more laps, so not a lot of time left here.
A little bit of a wiggle there from Justin Haley. Exiting the chicane, he's going to wisely cut down in front. We have a little bit of a battle there. Sharps is going to make his way around Workman, who wisely, I don't know what happened. He overdrove the corner and just drove out of it. Haley is able to gap Cassiola up through the hill section onto the Kemmel straight. Gonna bob and weave, try to not make sure that he doesn't get the draft down the corner. There comes Blake Kennedy there, going for 4th place. He's able to get it unless Sharp cuts him off.
See what happens back here. It's a 3-way battle, you know.
Blake Kennedy trying to work. I mean, if Cassiola and Haley have a little battle, I think Blake Kennedy. I mean, if Cassiola and Justin Haley have a battle, I think I think Blake Kennedy. Off goes Cassiola. I think Blake Kennedy is going to capitalize on this opportunity here and try to catch them. That's what I've been trying to say for the past 30 seconds, but clearly that wasn't working. Didn't lose too much time when Cassiola, as off again goes Workman. I think he is just overdriving, trying to overcompensate for a car that is just not trying to cooperate with him. I think he needs to sit back and just be complacent with 6th place, because Moondros is in 7th and he's 51 seconds back.
Justin trying to reel in Josh Patterson, but Patterson has pulled out a couple more tenths on him here. And, I mean, it's real tough. These long straightaways open the door for guys behind to just follow you and get that huge run on you. So they come down to the chicane, and Justin was a little bit better than Josh there, but we'll have to wait and see if that actually turns into any gain as we look ahead to Josh Patterson driving away with this thing on the final lap.
White flag for Josh Patterson, and wisely, that was the lapped car, letting Patterson go. Not exactly in the best spot. He kind of just stopped on the apex, but you do you. Patterson out in front by 3.1 seconds. That actually lost 0.5 of a second there for Josh Patterson because he didn't know what to do, but Haley not exactly catching as they go down the
try and get that lap car's slipstream here.
Well, I don't think the lapped car was really helpful because he very much held up Haley there. Maybe not. I think he actually got the draft and he gained 1/10 of a second there. So now it's going to be 3.05 seconds between 1st and 2nd place. Blake Kennedy has gone off track, so he is 13 seconds back now from the leader. So 10 seconds away from 3rd place, Cassiola, who may have got it wrapped up and is going to try to work for 2nd.
And if anything, that draft down that long straight gave Justin some separation from the rest of the guys. And, you know, we'll lock him up that 2nd spot. Josh just has to negotiate these final few corners, and he'll be the winner of this race.
No mistakes through this section of the track. This is where he saw a mistake last time. Clean through the track. He's going to go through Blanchimont down towards the chicane. Joshua Patterson. I think he set a faster lap in the race than he did in qualifying. Had the fastest car all day, won the pole, adversity, wins the race here at Spa, winning the JP Designs 100 at Spa-Francorchamps. Justin Haley 2nd, Cassiola 3rd. Oh, actually, Cassiola had a bit of an off-track moment in the chicane. Aaron Sharps actually finished 3rd. Cassiola went off-track, and Aaron Sharps finishes 3rd as Joshua Patterson takes home the win here in the GGR iRacing Series.
I mean, he was the man to beat all night long out there. And, I mean, even when he had those mistakes and spun out, he still managed to come back, get to the lead with that late caution, and just what a race for him. And, I mean, he held off some big names tonight. Justin Haley, you know, lots of very talented drivers that he managed to beat, and arguably his best racetrack on the sim.
For sure. That was certainly a very good race.
We'll pull up a quick replay of what happened in that final chicane with Sharps and Cassiola, like you mentioned.
So here's Sharps gonna come through, and I don't know. He just pulled over.
He may have had a time penalty. Likely what happened. We've seen that before at Spa. Alright, we're going to get to some post-race interviews with your top 3 drivers, but before then, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Alrighty, we are back here, and we are just about to interview the top 3 drivers. Anthony Sharps, our 3rd place driver. Do you have a copy up here in the Work TV booth?
10-4.
Well, I'm Tyson. We got Jay alongside us. Anthony, that was an awesome race that was going on. I mean, that's one of the few adjectives that we have been hearing about this race. Interesting was another one that we got. How was it out there? I mean, it was certainly very crazy there.
Yeah, it was a pretty intense race. It was almost like racing at Daytona or Talladega. I mean, there are constant wrecks, guys spinning off everywhere, and you're just trying to avoid everything and not get in it.
You had the incident on lap 13 with basically 3 cars going into the final chicane. I was very... that was a very interesting incident. Walk me through that if you don't mind.
So for the past couple laps, I was stuck behind Ethan Workman, and I was trying to get him, and I didn't want to cause an accident because we're pretty good friends off track, and we had good points going. So I sold him the dummy a couple times, and he got in really, really deep. And whoever's in the 27, it looks like he got on the power too hard, spun out, and I couldn't avoid him. I clipped him, and then it seems like a Workman came up across and knocked me upside down. That's pretty much what I think happened. I haven't looked at it though.
I mean, it was very interesting, that's for certain, because I think Workman overdrove the corner, and then the target car was the one that, and then he did a spin, and then you guys just all ran into each other, and it was very interesting. Jay, do you have anything for our 3rd place finisher?
Yeah, for sure. I just want to say, I mean, hell of a comeback there, going from tumbling into the barrier, and I mean, pretty cool how you backed it into the wall and then fired back off and kept it going. So, credit where credit's due, and just a real good job tonight. How did you come back from that?
I do a lot of F1 in my free time, so I just knew that I have a decent road racing background, and as long as I keep the car within the lines, don't run off, I'd be able to just kind of pick my way back through the field, capitalize on other people's mistakes, and just get it back on the podium.
Alrighty. Do you have anybody to thank for your third place victory. I mean, you certainly had one heck of a race there.
I got to thank my guys at Steel Racing for prepping the car and giving me all that practice beforehand. And that's all.
Alrighty. Anthony Sharps, your third place driver on the podium. Awesome racing out there. We'll see you next week. Alrighty. Our second place driver on the podium, Justin Haley. Justin, do you have a copy?
Oh, I got you.
Man, finished second out there. What a run for that final restart. You were definitely carving through those guys out there. What was it like on that final restart?
Yeah, after we discussed how much fuel I was going to take, I made the strong decision to just take a splash and go, and took no tires because I felt like there was no tire wear. And, Josh got out to a good lead. I had Franco behind me. He was really eager to the apex of every corner, so just trying to judge that. I was able to get to second and kind of pull away. Yeah, it was a good day. I mean, I just started practicing about 15 minutes ago for this race, so I felt like I held my own.
I mean, you certainly did. That second place run was very good, and you mentioned you were able to keep it clean, and I think that was just the name of the game out here today. We were questioning up in the booth if you had taken tires because you just drove through there, but no tires, I guess, with no tire wear. That seemed to be the way to go.
Yeah, just probably pure talent, I'm just joking. No, I honestly felt like it was one of the cleanest races I've drove. I feel like I made some good passes that were pretty daring, but also clean. So thank you to you guys for broadcasting, everyone at GGR for putting this race on. I love coming to these, and probably do a little more in the off season.
Alrighty. Jay, do you have anything for our second place finisher?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, that was a good run you had going there. We thought you actually had tires with how fast you were going, and it was reminiscent of a particular Richmond race in the past couple weeks where, you couldn't quite catch that leader in the orange car, but, a good run and great comeback considering everything that went on during the day.
Yeah, thank you. I just also want to congratulate Josh on an excellent drive all day. I mean, he really looked like Louis out there.
Alrighty. Well, do you have anybody else to thank out in the shop or outside of the track for today's race?
Yeah, the guys back home who built me a good piece. I mean, they work their tails off week in and week out, bring this thing to the racetrack, so just got to thank them.
Alrighty. Well, good luck out there this weekend. We hope to see you out here in GGR next week and in coming races, and congrats on the second place.
Yeah, thank you.
Alrighty. And our winner, Josh Patterson. Josh, do you have a copy?
Amen.
That was some race out there. I mean, we were looking, as Jay said earlier, you were looking like Louis Hamilton out there getting through the field. And honestly, you probably had the fastest car out there. I think your fastest lap race pace was on par with your qualifying time. Man, that was a race for sure.
Yeah, actually, my qualifying lap was slower than my fastest race pace lap, so that was nice. My goal for the race initially was to get in the 159s, and then I came out for practice and immediately did that. So I made my next goal to get in the 158s, and I ended up doing that in the race, which was nice. So it was a nice personal little goal to get, but another personal goal, winning the race. So yeah, I was really, really glad we were able to do that. Definitely a good one. Take the points lead over Mr. Mulder here, which is always a good thing to see. But yeah, second win of the season, couldn't be happier, and it's just a better way to extend that gap to the cutoff for the playoffs later this season.
Yeah, I think that's the fourth or fifth win on the year for Nova Sim Racing, and you and Jay have been the class of the field thus far in GGA, and man, it was certainly an excellent performance there by you, one that will be talked about for a little bit, I would say that, as well as how the race went. Jay, do you have any questions for our race winner?
Well, I just want to say congratulations on the win and taking over that points lead from me. Hopefully I'll be back out soon to go battle you for it, but, just walk us through there. You had a couple of spins, couple of mistakes. How did you come back from those to get back out front and, give yourself the lead and put yourself in position to get it done at the end of the day.
I mean, well, we were the fastest car, and that's always very helpful when you're trying to go for a win. But yeah, the spin set me back early, and I feel like I would have had a shot at probably second if it went green, because I know Justin spun once or twice there on that second run. So I knew I would have been able to catch him. I think Garrett was a little too far out there. I'm not sure what happened to him in this race, actually. He disconnected early, but he was having a good run up there. So it probably would have been nice to get a Nova Sim Racing 1-2 if that could have worked out. But sadly, it didn't. But yeah, the caution helped me tremendously. And I had Ethan Workman starting behind me and Franco back there as well. And Franco did wonders to keep Justin back behind me and, keep that gap. I don't think he would have been able to catch me either way, but Franco definitely helped seal the deal. And yeah, it was just a game of keeping it clean and running relatively fast laps, because once I pulled to maybe 2 seconds, I just started playing really conservatively and just avoiding all the curbs and avoiding anything that I could spin off of. So yeah, did that well and brought home the win. So yeah, I just run through.
Yeah, for sure. This is clearly a track you know your way around with a couple wins in the Spa-24. So nice win tonight, and thank you for coming out.
Thanks, Jay.
Anybody you'd like to thank for your race victory today, Mr. Patterson?
Oh, yeah, the brigade. So first off, I got to thank Nova Sim Racing, everybody who helps out week to week. Paul Granada, Jay Mulder, Garrett White, Garrett for racing with me tonight, Jay for being there in spirit. Got to thank, JP Designs, Belfour Property Restoration, NTN, Endurance Distributions, Vulture Racing Engines, Work TV Broadcasting, Dunk Pools, the NASCAR Hotspot, Circle B Diecast, Patriot Clutches, the Keystone Corner, EVC Automotive, Visco Media, the coveted Henry Cam, Iriser95 on Twitch. I got to thank Ethan for putting on this series every week. It's always fun to come out here and race with these guys. And I got to thank everybody on track for giving me a great race. And I got to thank you guys for broadcasting tonight. I know it was a short call and it's your first week, but I thought y'all did a really good job up there. So excited to see the broadcast again next week.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for putting on a good show out there for us, Josh, and congratulations, JP Designs 100 winner at Spa-Francorchamps, Josh Patterson.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Thanks, Tyson.
All right. Well, that was certainly a very interesting race, wouldn't you say, Jay?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, tons of drama all night long, and I mean, we never got a chance to catch a breath tonight. And I mean, Josh put on a show. He came from mid-pack at points after he spun, and all that happened. So he really earned this one tonight.
Alrighty. Well, I'd like to thank our sponsor of the race, JP Designs, once again for sponsoring the JP Designs 100, as well as Oregon Diecast for sponsoring the GGR Indycar series, Blue Jay Designs, and Limeade Media. Those are our affiliated partners up here in the broadcast booth. Jay, any last words before we sign off for the night?
Just want to thank everyone for watching and thanking all the drivers for coming out, and congratulations to Josh Patterson on the win.
Alrighty. Well, we'll be back in the booth, Jay and Tyson, once again next week. It's going to be a fun one. The Limeade Media double header. We're going to be racing here. It's going to be a very fun race. Doubleheader madness, November 2nd at Michigan and Gateway. Jay, that's going to be a fun one. Two great ovals here for these IndyCars.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be exciting, and we're looking forward to having everyone back, having all the people watching on YouTube back here as well, and I'm excited to be up here commentating in the booth.
Alrighty. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to GGR Night in America, and we'll see you all next week for the next race of the GGR Oregon Diecast IndyCar Series.